Welcome, family, to our evening devotion prayer vigil. We'll begin this evening's program with an offering song, followed by Kyungmei. Reverend Josh.
Your love has ravished my heart and taken me over, taken me over. And all I want is to be with you forever, with you forever. So pull me a little closer, take me a little deeper. I wanna know your heart, I wanna know your heart. 'Cause your love is so much sweeter than anything I've tasted. I wanna know your heart, I wanna know your heart. Your love has ravished my heart and taken me over. It's taken me over. And all I want is to be with you forever, with you forever. So pull me a little closer, take me a little deeper. I wanna know your heart, I wanna know your heart. 'Cause your love is so much sweeter than anything I've tasted. I wanna know your heart, I wanna know your heart, I wanna know your
Thank you, Reverend Josh. All right, family, let's greet our Heavenly Parent, true parents. Chanjin, Chan Pomanimge, Kyungbae. Haro. Now for opening prayer, I'd like to invite Miniko-san. Miniko Christian, could you please pray for us tonight? Thank you.
You can hear? Okay, please join me prayer. Dear Heavenly Parent, most loving true parents, thank you so much. Your grace and your blessing. This time period, it's very special. Here we have a physical body to really we can perform to fulfill your will. Dear Heavenly Parents, because of opening heaven, this time period, True Mother really desperately asking us to, we can inherit all the blessing to receive whatever Heavenly Parents want to give us. Whatever true parents, 효진님, 훈지님, 태모님 wants to guide us. Heavenly Parents, please let us open our heart to receive this liberation prayer time. I'd like to offer this prayer in the name of Mina Christian, blessed family. Adieu.
Achoo. Thank you, Miniko-san. Thank you. All right, family, we have a special testimony tonight from our Reverend Josh. But before he begins, let's have a few words from our Pastor Milhan Stevens. Thank you.
Kathleen, thank you, Miniko-san, for your prayer. Yes, special indeed. A little gift from God. We picked a random person of this entire community. Josh was chosen. So you've heard a little bit about my faith testimony. You may be wondering, why is Reverend Josh so faithful, and faithful too? And he really is a special person, and my first disciple. So you can imagine how much he means to me. And so yeah, pay attention. You might learn something. But yeah, and Josh, he is a graduate of UTS. He had definitely God preparing him for this time. So yeah, we'll let him share the story. Over to you.
Thank you, Pastor Milhan. How's my sound?
Good.
You good? Pretty good.
Awesome. Good evening, everyone. So I'll begin by introducing myself. My name is Joshua Gudakowski. You can call me Reverend Josh. My current occupation is that I'm the assistant pastor of Family Church. I'm also finishing up my time as a seminary student, as Pastor Milhan has just mentioned. I actually walked last year for UTS graduation. However, I just recently submitted my master's thesis, day prayer for personal transformation, and it was that was quite the journey. So yeah, I received my undergraduate degree in mechanical engineering, the New Jersey Institute of Technology in Newark, New Jersey. And so yeah, because I just submitted my thesis, I should be receiving my master's degree soon in religious studies here in New York from now Hyojung International Graduate School for Peace and Public Leadership. which was formerly known as the Unification Theological Seminary. I'm an only child, so I grew up with those in my community feeling as if they were my brothers and sisters. I grew up in New Jersey, so if you're familiar with the Clifton Family Church, that is my home community. And I'm grateful that it was such a big community as well, because being an only child, I pretty much only had my parents. So the community played a big role in acting as my extended family. And most of my relatives actually live in Boston, Massachusetts, where my mom grew up. So I wasn't really able to spend much time with them. But thankfully, on my dad's side, I have an uncle who also lives in New Jersey, where he grew up. So yes, I'm grateful for that. My parents were part of the Unification Church, so before I was born, and they were blessed in marriage by their parents as one of the 2075 couples at Madison Square Garden. Means I'm a second generation best child. And in my sophomore year of college, which was in 2014, my dad ascended. So now I'm currently supporting my mom here in New Jersey. And this past February, I was blessed in marriage to my amazingly wonderful wife, Akio, my true mother at the 2024 Heavenly Top Gun Special Blessing Ceremony. That was truly a blessed moment. So, yes, that's a little bit about me. So where and how was I before I met the movement? Well, being born into the Unification movement, I don't really remember anything prior to that. But however, despite being born into the movement, I wasn't automatically connected in a heart-to-heart faith either. So I'll be sharing with you how my faith developed and when I felt that I really became connected to our movement. It took some time and soul searching before I actually felt committed to the movement and our church. Before my relationship and faith developed, I was first developing my relationship with those around. I was first connected to our community before really owning my faith. And community really felt like family. I really have to consider myself lucky that I grew up in a community where there are plenty of people around my age that I could be with. This was ultimately my anchor that connected me to and kept me connected to our movement. And it was my external sanctuary. Because when I was introduced to public schools and secular world, I felt quite different. And mostly I kept to myself. So as a result, I didn't make that many friends there and felt quite lonely quite often. I was also spiritually open. When I mentioned my experiences to others, I was getting strange looks or it was dismissed. So I was kind of denying that part of me for a while, trying to suppress who I truly was. Trying to blend in didn't really work. So I ended up engaging more internally during the weeks, letting music really be my internal sanctuary. And in a way, music really spoke to me. And I found myself listening to and visiting more fringe and darker spiritual themes. It was really only on Sundays at church and camps or workshops where I felt I could really connect with others. I was able to be involved through various programs that were offered, eventually connecting through youth group, camps, summer programs, Sunday school, and eventually CARP, the Association for Research Principles in college. So I was able to make really good friends and close connections through these programs that are still maintained today. Ultimately, it was mostly our community that kept me connected rather than our teachers itself. Maybe in college, with CARP, however, I was able to consider more deeply the content, but mostly just enjoyed being around other BCs. Really, it was the CARP there that became my refuge and really helped me push through my 5 years of university study. It was different from the years before, where there was hardly anyone I could really connect with. So it was difficult when I finally finished college and struggled to find work in my field. I didn't have the same sort of engagement as I had before with others. So I once again let music be my refuge. And eventually I came across a music genre that went pretty deep into mystical and spiritual topics, on the side activism, expressing the truth, understanding our identity, and yeah, really trying to express our true selves. And little did I know that seeds were being planted. And this became a gateway in which enabled me my study, extensive exploration, various faith traditions, along with alternative faiths. And I was interested in their beliefs, how things overlap and how it all connected to one another, trying to view the world through their perspectives, witness really the spiritual interplay behind it all. At some point, I was looking at our own teachings and making comparisons there as well, trying to find where our beliefs overlapped. And from this, I was able to see just how aware Father Moon really was, and with his vast insight and applications. And this was my access point, really, for which I was able to really appreciate our teachings, and connect with it in the heart more deeply. This was furthered even more when I attended DP forums with Jin Kwan. I don't know if you know him. There's a brother that used to live in New Jersey. You know, the program, DP forums, other other members were able to attend this program as well, mostly BCs, both from KEA and from the New Jersey area. We were able to explore the principle deeply and ask critical questions about it in an open discussion. And I enjoyed that really a lot. And it was even better since the group was satisfying both my internal and external connections and interests. So overall, I felt that our community and my friends is what helped me be plugged in and stay connected. The relationships I had were really my anchor. Actually, it was also through these relationships that allowed me to get my first internship in my field of engineering. After struggling for a couple of years to find work in my field, yeah, I didn't even have to go through an interview. I was just brought on. And so although I couldn't see myself being there or doing that sort of work for the rest of my life, it did help me see where God was working in my life. I realized that God was really working through so many different things, through all things really, more so in my relationships and the music. It's a struggle for me to realize how God works in the moment. And that's been that sort of way for some time, but I eventually became interested in numerology and synchronicity, which simply put is paying attention to the subtle patterns in my life that I attribute to spiritual guidance. So yeah, goes to the next question is, so how was God working in my life at this time when I started to truly own my faith? And where did I feel God's love and confirmation? Well, it was definitely through my connections with others, first and foremost. I was led through my connections to the experiences God wanted me to have. When I was struggling to find work in my field, I started to work at a summer program at New Hope School, which was run by our church community. And then one morning, when I was there, a teacher who wasn't a member, but knew my mom and had her kids taught by my mom, spoke with me and shared with me a work opportunity. It wasn't a job, but it was in finance and the work paid commissions. So I felt that my prayers were being answered. And I met with her husband, who brought me on the team. And I received a lot of real world education and was exposed to so many possibilities. I only made $30. And yes, not getting any results over and over again really ate away at my mentality, but I was receiving valuable lessons in leadership development, networking, personal growth, communication. It's really being bold. And it was a foundation that really allowed me to be where I am today. It shaped my interest in really wanting to be engaged in a movement, express and teach the truth to others. It allowed me to eventually sit down with our young adult pastor and good friend who I felt I could share anything with, and I did. That conversation had really helped me to propel me further into taking action that I'll share about more in a moment. But going several months back before this moment, I was brought on to work at the engineering company I was interning for. And the person there that helped me bring me on was an assistant manager at the time, and was also BC in our community. We attended the same college together, attended the same academic clubs together, and even helped me break through with the course I was struggling a lot with. That was studying back. I didn't even need an interview to start working here at this internship. So if that wasn't a grace of God, I don't know what was, because I was tired of being told again and again that I was overqualified, underqualified. It was a pain that I felt like I was released from in that moment. So working there was still a struggle though. And in those moments of struggle, it really allowed me to have a moment to really go within and to able to find God in that space. So yeah, actually this place that I worked at was called Illuminazione, which was Italian for illumination. So it was an LED lighting company, manufacturing company, but although its name was referring to actual light that's produced, the term illumination made me consider a different meaning. A light that was being sparked within myself, kind of like an illumination into enlightenment, if you will, where I was starting to become even more aware of who I am and what my purpose was. So being interested in numerology at the time, I couldn't help but notice one of the building numbers on the way to work, which was bigger than all the others for some reason. It read 333, which some spiritualists express that as an angel number, signifying the presence of spirit guides, helping me with my spiritual awakening and guiding me towards my purpose. So I found that really interesting, the couple between illumination and also seeing that number. Yeah, of course, it could all just be coincidental, reading too much into things. However, it held significance for me at that time and further affirmed my spiritual development. So, returning to the meeting I had with my young adult pastor, a great friend at the time, I shared about what I was doing through the financial opportunity I was in. I still didn't make any progress with that work, but however, our conversation continued and went more deeper into my beliefs. I shared about my spiritual paradigm, but being able to really open up and go deep, I think that really helped me heal and move forward with greater purpose. And I became more bold, determined after that point, joining different programs, just expand my network. But the aim of getting results still, I was determined. But instead of it really helped me to fortify my faith and connection a lot more. So I believe God really had a different plan. Really helped me develop who I am, what I will be doing. So I believe doing so really helped to open some sort of spiritual pathway, synergy that helped move things along elsewhere, as if spirit worlds saw my determination and felt compelled to help somehow. So while I was working, I wanted to find something more substantial, a cause I can really get behind and work with. And that's when I met Pastor Mohan, who wasn't pastor at the time, but Secretary General. He just happened to show up to the Clifton community Sunday service one day by helping putting the service brochures together. I was also volunteering there at that time. I didn't know who he was or what his position was at the time, but for some reason I just felt compelled and said that I was looking for work opportunities. I mentioned at that moment an opening at headquarters that I could apply for, so I did. And eventually I was able to attend an interview. And although I wasn't accepted for that position, I was referred to Dr. Rouse and the potential for working at ACLC, American Clergy Leadership Conference. And I was able to then be interviewed by him. And afterwards, interestingly, he brought me down to a class that he was teaching. And that was my first exposure to attending a seminary class. After my independent study, various faiths, I wanted to attend a seminary and study theology eventually. And I was not expecting this to be my introduction to attending a theology class. I didn't get the position, nor did any major overtly significant results appear after that interview, but it really helped me feel more connected in a way and see the possibility of me to attend seminary eventually. So yeah, I didn't get either positions from the interviews I had, and I continued to work on my engineering internship, but I was even more determined and started volunteering for a whole lot more to make something open up and happen. So I started actually, I was helping with CARP again, trying to be engaged with activities taking place there. So yeah, actually after college, I was focused on trying to find work. So I kind of disconnected from a lot of things I was involved in before. But yeah, after those interviews, I got re-engaged with CARP again. I signed up for teaching Sunday school, and it just so happened to be teaching 7th grade, which was focused on teaching divine principle, which I was getting a lot of experience in with teaching forums. I signed up for being a staff for youth ministry again, for my hiatus from it. And yeah, I was put on as leading the education team there as well. I was also developing my speaking ability and communication skills through Toastmasters, having been introduced to the program through one of the personal growth speakers I was listening to at the time. And then a few months later, eventually in November, and I got a call from Milhan about working for headquarters to help coordinate buses for the 2019 rally. And that was a monumental moment in my life at the time. I had to really make quite a choice, either stay in the comfort zone of my engineering work, or taking something more aligned with a higher purpose through ministry work. So I chose the latter. And I didn't really have much time to get the heads up to my boss either. I was asked to start working that Monday, and it was just starting to become the weekend. And it was a shock for both me and for my boss. There's no time for a farewell party, but I didn't mind that. I was able to start working right now. So, and the only instruction Pastor Nolan gave me really was, he said I should stay close. And so I did. I didn't question it. I just went by faith and really deep thanks and appreciation, as if I was liberated from hell. And I was really appreciative for this new opportunity. I actually ended up participating in even more things in that time as well, actually. I was attending meetings for Universal Peace Federation, ACLC prayer breakfasts. I was doing church visitations as well as part of a CARP initiative in preparation for the rally. Now I was also coordinating buses on top of everything else. How I did everything is beyond me. God was certainly working behind the scenes, allowing things to really move smoothly. And actually, the education, we found speakers as well every week. I don't know how he did that, but we were able to pull things together, and it was a miracle. That whole year was a miracle. And so yeah, we had our rally. Eventually, I did get very sick in the end of the year, but we were able to pull things together and have a successful rally. And there's actually really interesting symbolism because it took place in Newark, right? That's where I had my school. I studied at NJIT there in Newark, and you split the word Newark, get new and arc. So I feel like it was like a new kind of like sanctuary, like revelation or new beginnings in that space. And not only did I have college there in the same space in the Prudential Center, I had my graduation for that school. It's just really interesting how it's really connect. None of that is a coincidence for sure. And then after the rally, I was able to transition my work responsibilities and become an administrative assistant to Belmont. And in that time, I was also able to apply for studying at UTS. After studying all the religions and spiritual beliefs that I was getting exposed to, I knew I wanted to study theology at a seminary at some point, but I did not know it would be that soon. God really wanted me to just expedited things. I was planning maybe like several years later, like when I was in 30s or something like that, but God's plan is just quicker. So things just moved and worked out. And so in that January, I was able to be accepted and being able to study at UTS. Then after that, COVID took place. So the following months, and a few months later, I lost my position at headquarters, but I was still able to study at the seminar. And I was put on to assisting with database work as a volunteer for the Bulletin community in Alchemy. And that helped me to really stay connected and not drift, while also deepening my faith connection through studying teachings. And yeah, I was still involved with youth ministry at the time as well. But through all these connections, eventually COVID restrictions died down, and I was brought back on through the support of Joshua Holmes and Pastor Milhan for a position of assistant pastor. So I could definitely tell I was being guided by God through all of this, although I'm not fully aware in the moment. Definitely know that my spirit guides are working. So yes, even my matching and blessing is guided. Actually, I started thinking more seriously about the matching back when I was working with Milhan as administrative assistant. It consistently, although playfully as well, try to see who would be a good match for me. So even back then, he had that impulse to get people matched. And so eventually it only became natural for me to choose him as my matching supporter. And I honestly cannot trust anyone else with the role. Actually, the topic of matching and blessing was pretty stressful and painful for me because of how I grew up, distancing myself, feeling different and wanted. So I didn't see much hope in regards to matching and blessing. And that feeling only grew in me, but because of Milhan's support, I was able to have more hope for this and intentionally work towards being with someone. I had attended multiple online 24+ programs, but I didn't have any results there. So actually that was kind of discouraging as well. But due to his support, I was able to continue on this. Eventually, as COVID started to die down, an in-person 24+ opportunity opened up. And now this 24+ actually took place in Florida. And I haven't flown since I was 4. So it was really thanks to those who were close to me, encouraging me. And I was able to take that flight and I was able to go. And everything was new, trying to plan everything, figure out how everything worked. And so that was another bold decision in my life that I just decided to go. However, when I booked my flight, there was a crazy hurricane taking place as well, and my flight was canceled in the experience. So I had to get a new flight. But I just persevered and was able to overcome the challenge, make my way, attending in-person 24 plus, and this is where I met Akia, my love. And on our 101 speed dating round, connection did spark, seeds were planted, but we didn't start having an ongoing conversation until a few months after the program finished. So a few months later, in February, I received a notice that Akio was interested in starting to have an ongoing conversation with me. And it was on that day, I was discussing with Mohan, and we noticed multiple signs sort of like appearing. I swear I saw like a lone balloon just like floating up into the sky in the shape of a heart. And then on our way to New York, we also saw, I think it was a double rainbow in the sky, opening up in the middle of the road we were driving on. Mohan has a picture somewhere. Probably share it later. But this was certainly a sign of heaven trying to indicate the significance of this location. So we started talking and things took off from there, Theo and I, and we were able to meet in person again. The first time actually she came after we started our conversation was during the week of my graduation walk at ETS. And then, yeah, that was really amazing. Then several months later, we had our commitment ceremony, 43rd. It's really a wondrous moment. To bring that all together, be able to have it with our community. It's really wonderful. Then this past February, we had our blessing and laid the spiritual foundation for our lives together by attending the 40-day workshop, the Hyochong Heaven and Earth Training Center, Chungcheong, Korea. So yeah, I really feel God was working, not only my work, what I'm doing, but also my relationships and my now blessed life. And yeah, it's just interesting to look back and just see how involved God actually was. I wish I could be more aware in the moment, but usually when I'm looking back, then I can really just appreciate how God's always moving, always working. Find love. So yeah, I have to really give my thanks to God. And my mom also believes that, well, both my mom and I believe that my dad has part in it as well. I have a vision of creating a spiritual retreat center, or even a cafe, catered to spirituality, mysticism, and interfaith. My mom says how my interest in what I'm doing now is actually what my dad would have wanted to be involved in. So she is certain that he is with me, helping me, guiding me as well. And I believe that God is still working my life today through my work as an assistant pastor and also developing my blessed life. Certainly this testimony and the sermons I give are guided because usually I don't know where to begin at all. And then somehow I just have things to share. So yeah, thank you, Heavenly Parent. And yeah, even now and again, I find moments where I'm doing things. I don't really know why I'm doing them, but it's completely appropriate for that moment. So I'm grateful that I can be in this right for heaven. I just wish I had greater awareness over this, but I suppose that is part of the joyful surprises in life. And my life of faith is always growing more and more. I'm really thankful for this community, really being with me on this journey of life and faith and love that I'm experiencing now. So thank you. That's my story.
Thank you so much. Oh gosh, wonderful.
Well, you finished at exactly 9:40. And clearly, you know the program. But, I'd forgotten about how hard it was to go to Florida, and it was already difficult enough, and so there was a lot lot of trials and tribulation to finally meet her. And even when you did meet her, it wasn't, you didn't identify her at the time. So yeah. Now, I was trying to find that photo. It's pretty far back. I will find it and I can share it with everybody. That the rainbow sky. It was yeah, I mean there's a lot of random coincidences do happen every day, but when you feel something, something's going on. Especially when you're sensitive, as we are. Yeah, spirit world is so active. And Reverend Josh is someone who he's found trust in the spirit world, for better or for worse. And then lately, I think for the better mostly. And yeah, thank you for being spiritually open. It's not an easy course. So it's for those who are spiritually open, you really need a holy community. Otherwise, those spirits, they're just bad voices in your head. But yeah, thank you for enduring and finding your spiritual home.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
We thank you.
Oh gosh. All right, family. Do we have any announcements? Or any prayer requests? A lot happening this month, Pastor Milhan.
That is correct. It's Father's Day this weekend, and then the matching workshop the next weekend, and then the next weekend is the DP workshop, then the 1-year birthday party for Chief. So a lot of special events coming up for sure.
I love those 1-year birthday parties. That's when they choose something, right? Choose an item.
It's once in a lifetime. Once in a lifetime.
Emika chose money, right? Last year.
Yep. She chose the money.
Okay. So
Yeah, worry about our financial future.
Yeah. Well, you have a lot to look forward to. All right, brothers and sisters, let's get ready for our resonance prayer, and we'll start with an Abaji Omani.
Tanshima resonance prayer, Shijak, Abote, Omani.
Let's pray.
Good evening, Heavenly Parent. Good evening, true parents, Heavenly Parent, and true parents. We pray for number one, for the safety of the true parents and the true family. Number 2, for victorious entrance into the sanctum and John 1. Number 3, to successfully witness to you, keep especially young Korea Church. Number 4, for the unification of North and South Korea and a unified Korea. Number 5, to overcome all crises affecting our world and to realize a heavenly unified world. Heavenly Parent and true parents, we pray for each and every brother and sister in this prayer call. We pray for each and every brother and sister, for their families, that they can get good health, energy, and strength. Thank you so much for Reverend Joshua. For the trust we were sharing. And I thank you, Heavenly Parent and true parents. Bless you.
Should be done already.
Heavenly Parent and true parents, please bless Reverend Stevens, his wife, Dayak, his John and Kumi, Hero, everything, families, bless them, help them. Please bless Reverend Joshua Gottidusky and Akio and families, bless them, help them. Please bless Katsuna Kumura and families, bless them, help them. Please bless all our brothers and sisters in this prayer call. Help us to love each other, help each other, serve each other, give each other. Help us to go forth in the shoes of a servant, shedding tears to man, sweat for heart and blood for heaven. Help us, heavenly parent and true parent, to do your will on earth. We pray through Mother, we pray for the sonship that true Mother gave throughout the world, Europe, Asia, Africa, North America, and Australia, New Zealand. We pray, heavenly parent and true parents, spiritual parents, and the shining one. We pray for Joe and more husband and family. Heavenly parent and true parents, we pray for our son and families at this time. Heavenly parent and true parents, we pray at this time for Eugene him in the Shantim, young and we pray for Eugene in the Shantim. We pray for all our brothers and sisters. Pray, heavenly parent and true parent, we pray for Damon in the Shantim and bless her. Helping us speak, bless Damon and her husband. Heavenly parent and true parent, love each other, help each other, serve each other, give each other, help us to go forth in the shoes of servants, tears to my spread for blood servant. I pray for my heavenly parents, I pray for my mother, my successfully. I pray for my sisters, new people, and their spouses, young people. I pray for everywhere in the world. Help me with my little joy and help for the youth. I pray activated. The cabinet has been awakened. Maximum to everyone of the children, servants for generations. Everyone is our husband and spirit one. Bless joy, help joy to get well, help joy when you will. Everyone is moving. Everyone is moving. Everyone is announcing. Everyone is doing their best. Everyone in the countryman marching on with the confidential thoughts, witnessing. Thank you for the thank you for the witnessing. New people. Thank you for the witnessing to new people. Young people. For all the second generation. Witnessing to new people, to young people. That they can fulfill. I pray we can unite with I pray we can unite with you, Father, this time. Help us especially in America, the other nation, who is help us unite for the providence. Unite with you, amazing. I pray that we can go forth of a servant. That is tears to my sweat for our blood. I pray that we love each other, help each other, serve each other, give each other. I pray that we can go forward in the shoes of a servant. We all move forward as one. I pray we all move forward as one.
조망 속에도 흔들리
Brothers and sisters, we'd like to invite you to continue to pray and ask True Father questions. We're keeping the candles lit until 10:30. So have a good night. Please keep your microphones muted. And I hope you have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you, Reverend Josh, for a wonderful testimony. God bless you. Good night.